Scene 5. Immediately following. The bedroom is lighted, and at a much lower level soar the back steps of the house where Chicken sits with his cat. The parlor is now masked by an opaque transparency. Lot remains in the wicker chair in the bedroom. He is still smoking with his mother's ivory holder and wearing now her white silk wrapper. His Mona Lisa smile is more sardonic, and the violet shadows about his eyes are deeper. Myrtle stands panting in the doorway. Lot. From the singing and other commotions I heard down there, I don't need to ask you if you got the paper. Did you? No, you didn't. Myrtle. You listen here. Enough is enough, and more than enough is too much. Lot. You didn't get much liquor down him, did you? Myrtle. That man, that animal down there, could drink a liquor store dry and walk straight to another. Lot. I thought you told me there wasn't a man on earth that you weren't able to manage. Well, if that statement was accurate, then either Chicken isn't a man or he isn't on earth. And I think he is both. Myrtle. Don't be sarcastic with me. Lot. Don't shout so he can hear you. Can you speak without shouting? Myrtle. I said don't be sarcastic with me. I'm not in the mood to take it after what I went through in the kitchen with your so-called brother. Lot. My opposite type. I hate that man with a passion. Myrtle. I'm terrified of him. Is there a key to this door to lock him out? Lot. No. I hate and despise him with such a passion that if this place or anything on this place became his property. Myrtle. Suppose he comes up here and drags me down. Lot. Neither mother or me could rest in peace in old gray cemetery. Myrtle. I'm not in a cemetery. What about me? Lot. What about you except you? There's not just you. There's me. The selfish streak in your nature is wide as the river flooding. Lot. Have you ever owned much of anything in your life? Myrtle. Yes. My self-respect and decency as a woman. Lot. In addition to that, marvelous as it is, would you like to own and possess entirely as your own a place that's worth much more than it gives appearance of being? Myrtle. Worth what? In cash? Lot. Over 50,000, and could increase while managed. Long pause. Well, attractive to you or not? Myrtle. I've never owned a stone I could call my own. Lot. A pitiful confession. But now's your chance if you want it. A pause as Myrtle reflects. Myrtle. Sugar? Baby? Why don't you get in bed instead of sitting at a window in a light silk wrapper? Lot. I breathe better sitting up in a chair and can look at the sky. Myrtle. The sky is clouded over. Lot. Once in a while the moon comes out of those fast-moving clouds, and it says things to me in the soft voice of my mother. Myrtle. I wish you would get in bed and let me hold you and love you. Lot. You don't have to hold me to love me. Myrtle. You're shivering. Let me put something heavier around you like a blanket. Lot. No, don't. I don't want to be smothered. Myrtle. Chicken's out of the kitchen, so I'm going back in it and fill a hot water bottle for you and get you in this bed if you like it or not. Lot. There's not any hot water bottle. Myrtle. I never travel without one. It's in my traveling case. Lot. I should have known. Myrtle. What? Lot. Nothing. And not much of that either. Myrtle. That seems to be what you know. But I'm going back down there and get a hold of that paper. How, I don't know, but somehow. And I'm going down there in my show costume as the personality kid. She changes quickly into the costume. Lot. I think what attracts you back down there is nothing made of rubber and nothing made of paper, whether you face it or not. Myrtle. Your fever's gone to your head if you think that. Lot. I don't just think it. I know it. I won't see daylight again. Myrtle. I can pick you up and carry you to the bed, and that's what I'm going to do when I've filled my hot water bottle. Lot. Anybody with arms could pick me up if they wanted to force me against my will. Myrtle. Is it against your will to be loved and made well? Lot. No. If you can't make him pass out to get that paper, knock him out with a hammer that's in the drawer of the kitchen table. And don't come up here again without that paper. You get that paper and you can pick me up and carry me to bed with no resistance, and I'll rest in your arms. Myrtle. I gotta take this lamp to get down the stairs in my shaky condition. Lot. Take it. I get enough light from the sky. She goes back into the hall and starts down the steps. She is halfway down them with the lamp when Chicken slams open the back door and enters the lower hall. Myrtle, terrified, gasps. She drops the oil lamp on the stairs. It goes out. Chicken, trying to start a fire? Burn your place down before it goes underwater? Myrtle, I thought... Chicken, don't strain your brain thinking. Myrtle, Lot's having a chill. Terrible. I want to fill up a hot water bottle for him. Can I come down? Chicken, why do you ask to come downstairs in your house? Myrtle, I don't possess this house or anything in it except what I brought here with me. Chicken, all that electric equipment to make life easy for you? He laughs and enters the kitchen. Myrtle stops in the downstairs hall and speaks tremulously. Myrtle, please do me a favor before I come in the kitchen. Chicken, such as what? He turns up the kitchen lamp. Myrtle, of course, I know you was teasing me with that trap door open, but would you please push the table over it now? Chicken, it ain't open now. Myrtle, open or shut, I couldn't be comfortable in the kitchen unless that table was over that trap door. Chicken, pushing the table with his foot. You're mistress of the house, the lady in it. Whatever you tell me to do, I'm obliged to do it. Myrtle moves nervously to the kitchen threshold. Myrtle, I'm just a visitor here, but would you push the table over the trap door a little bit further than that, please? Chicken. Why, sure, Mrs. Lot Ravenstock. On a place always does what pleases the lady and the boss man. He shoves the table further with his foot. How's that now? Does that suit you? Myrtle, entering the kitchen. Yes, thank you. Fine, perfect. I feel much more easy. Chicken. You're a city lady, and I'm a country boy with common habits. I hope you'll excuse me for them. Myrtle. I've been teased in my life. I had two older brothers, Jack and Jim, that teased me nearly to death. You see, my curls were long then, and they would pull them and yell ding dong. Oh, it never hurt much, but it always scared me. Holler? Oh, would I holler. Sometimes it wouldn't be necessary for them to pull my curls. They could just say ding dong, and I'd scream fit to kill and blaze a trail to the house. So you see, I'm used to teasing. But so much has happened in the last few hours, I feel unstrung. A little. Chicken. You're walking around like you were looking for something. Myrtle. A kettle to boil water in, so I can fill a hot water bottle in my traveling case. She removes the hot water bottle from the beat-up case and wanders distractedly about the kitchen. Chicken. Why don't you put the hot water bottle down while you look for the kettle so you'll have both your hands free? Myrtle. What's the matter with me? I don't seem to have my head on. Chicken rises, setting the cat on the floor. The cat didn't drown in the cellar? Chicken. Shit, no. You can't drown a cat unless you put her in a sack full of rocks. She swam up on top of the woodpile, didn't you, pussy? He hands a kettle to her. Myrtle. Thanks. She sets the kettle on the stove. Chicken. Is that how you do it? Myrtle. Huh? Chicken. You get the kettle hot first and then put the water in it? Myrtle. Ain't that something? Shows how upset I am. I put the empty kettle on the stove without water in it. Chicken. Give me the kettle. I'll get you some water in it from the rain barrel out there. Crosses to the door with the kettle and descends to the rain barrel. She follows to the door. Myrtle. They say that rainwater's the purest water there is. Chicken. Is that what they say? Well, nothing's too pure for Lot. Myrtle. Not that it matters in a hot water bottle. Chicken. Yeah, well. Hands her the dripping kettle. She returns inside. He watches her back as she moves to the stove and gives a slight wolf whistle. She gets the kettle on the stove with a bang that makes her give a startled laugh. What's the joke? She goes on laughing helplessly. Let me in on the joke. It must be a good one. Myrtle. I just got hysterics. She continues giggling. Chicken. There's 2 ways to stop hysterics in a woman. One way is to give her a slap in the face, and the other way is to lay her. Sometimes you gotta do both. Myrtle. Oh, I'm all right now. I come out of hysterics as quick as I go in them. How come a handsome young man like you is still single? Chicken. I'm dark-complected. Myrtle. What of it? Chicken. There's not been a woman on this place, not since Miss Lottie died, but the colored girl Clara and she's took to the hills to get away from the flood. Myrtle. You mentioned this flood like it didn't scare you a bit. Chicken. Floods make land richer. Myrtle. What good does that do if you drown? Chicken. I'm not going to drown. Are you? Myrtle. Lord God Jesus, I pray to my Savior I won't. Chicken. You do better praying to chicken. Myrtle. I'm counting on your protection. Chicken. You better not count on that. Myrtle. That's what I'm counting on, chicken. Chicken. Count on nothing. Sit down. Myrtle. I'd prefer to stay on my feet a while if... Chicken. If what? Myrtle. If you don't object. Chicken. Shit, I don't mind if you stand on your head if you want to. But look, I got this old auto cushion I'll put on this here chair, and it'll make you a nice, soft seat. I know a woman don't like a hard seat, does she? Well, here's a real soft cushion for you to sit on while we talk. Myrtle. Thanks. She seats herself tensely on the edge of the auto cushion. Chicken. With a slow, wolfish grin. Now you got 3 cushions. Myrtle. 3? Oh. Yeah, 3. Loud silence in the kitchen. Chicken. You feel comfortable? Myrtle. Yes. Yes, very. Are you? Chicken. I always make myself comfortable as I can. Myrtle. Why not? You should. A man should. Should what? Myrtle. Why make himself as comfortable as he can? Chicken. How about you? Are you comfortable too on those 3 soft cushions? Myrtle. Yes, I told you I was. I'm just a little worried about my husband. I had no idea. I simply had no notion at all that he was in such a bad condition as this. I mean, I just didn't have an idea. Chicken. It's like you bought a used car that turned out to be a lemon. Myrtle. Oh, that's not how I look at it. That boy has touched the deepest chord in my nature. I mean, She suddenly sobs. Chicken. Quit that. I want to talk to you. Myrtle. Yeah, yes, talk. Chicken. I guess you know the setup. Myrtle, struggling for composure. The what? Chicken. The setup. Do you know it? Myrtle, with a weak attempt at levity. The only setup I know of is in a dry state. They'll serve you a setup for liquor, but not the liquor. You got to bring that with you. Chicken. If I was your lawyer, I would advise you not to try to be funny. Myrtle. Can't we joke a little? Chicken. I'd advise you against it. Myrtle. All right, I'll take that advice. But Chicken, do you know that all the electric do you know that all the electric equipment I won as the Take Life Easy Queen is still in that car with a leaking top being rained on? Chicken. Forget that stuff. It can't be saved from floodwater. Can you concentrate on the legal setup if I explain it to you? Or do you think it's something that don't concern you? Myrtle. I'm anxious to know the setup. Is the kettle boiling? Is that water hot yet? Chicken. Forget the kettle. The fire is low in the stove. Myrtle. But I told Lot I'd... Chicken. You don't seem to want to know the setup. Myrtle. Oh, that's not true. I do. Chicken. I'll explain it to you. Myrtle. Yes, wonderful. Do that. Whatever concerns this place in my future life on it is important to me to understand and to know. Chicken. Lot and me are half-brothers. Has that sunk into your head yet? Myrtle. Oh yes, that I do know. It come out in the conversation we had when we first met this day. Chicken. That's right. You got that straight. Maybe you know the rest of it. Myrtle. Let me pour you some liquor while you explain the setup. She tries to lift the jug off the table, but her hands are too weak and shaky. Chicken. Can't lift the jug, you're so nervous about the setup. Open your mouth and I'll pour some liquor down you. Myrtle. Thanks. I thank you. I couldn't get through this night without liquoring me. Could you? Could you? Chicken. Mouth open. She opens her mouth a little. He presses the mouth of the jug to it. The liquor runs down her chin and neck. Myrtle. Oh, it's staining my dress. Chicken. You wouldn't swallow the liquor, drooled it out. Myrtle. I wasn't actually thirsty. You drink some. I like to see a man drink. Chicken. What I am going to do is tell you about the setup. All of it. The rest that you might now know. Myrtle. What is the rest of the setup? Chicken. Daddy got Lot in marriage, but not me. You're looking at what is called a woods colt. He perches himself on the table, and the light is hot on him. When I was 10 years old, he married this little blonde-headed woman that worked in a beauty shop in Clarksdale. Are you listening or still too nervous to listen? Myrtle. I'm listening close. All ears. Chicken. I wouldn't say that about you, but I'd advise you to listen close as you're able to me. This little lady that worked in the beauty parlor in Clarksdale was named Miss Lottie. So when Lot was born, he got the name of Lot. Legal. Born in marriage. Not a woods colt. Me, woods colt. You know what a woods colt is? Myrtle. No, I don't know that I know. All I know is you look... Chicken. Dark complected. Myrtle. Foreign. Foreign? Chicken. My son of a bitch of a daddy got me off in a dark complected woman he lived with in Alabama. What about it? Myrtle. Why, nothing. Slight pause. Ain't you drinking no more this awful night? Chicken. Why are you so anxious for me to drink more? Myrtle. I don't like drinking alone. It makes me lonesome. Chicken. I can drink you under this kitchen table tonight. Myrtle. I'd rather stay on my feet with the flood you say is coming. Chicken. You'd rather drown standing up? Myrtle. Don't talk about drowning. You wouldn't let that happen. Chicken. Let's get back to the setup. Lot's mother, Miss Lottie, she thought she was surely going to bury my daddy. Hell, he was 60 when he married Miss Lottie. Myrtle. Is that what you mean by the setup? Chicken. Just shut up and listen. She'd no sooner gotten married to him than she begun to cheat on him with a good-looking young Greek fellow that had a fruit store in town. Why, every afternoon, Miss Lottie would say to Daddy, Daddy, I think I will drive in town to buy some fruit to make us a nice fruit salad. And when she got to the storeman would let her in and lock the door. And she'd stay in for 2 hours and come out with 4 or 5 peaches, like it had took her like it had took them 2 hours to pick out that small bag of peaches. Myrtle. Why didn't you tell your daddy? Chicken. If I had told him, he'd have told her I told him. And she would have got me thrown out of here in minutes. Well, I did bury my daddy, and the place was hers, but she didn't have long to hold it. The Greek sold out his fruit store, quit Miss Lottie, and left. He just left town, but Miss Lottie left the world. Myrtle. Dead. Yes, Lot told me. Tragic. Chicken. Well, she lived long enough to throw me off the place. Called me in her little parlor one day and fired me like a field hand. Chicken, she said, I think it's just about time for you to clear off this place and make your own way in the world. I said, well, give me what's coming to me. What she gave me amounted to just about the pay that a field hand gets for a week's worth. It got me down the state to Meridian, where I worked in a sawmill and then this happened. Miss Lottie couldn't go on without trips to that fruit store, so she quit eating, quit sleeping, quit breathing. And 1 month after she died, Lot started dying. One long gone and one going, but trying to run this place. It didn't take long for him to find out he couldn't, so I began to hear from him. He sent for me to come back and to operate this place for him. Sent for me twice by letter and a third time by wire. First and only wire I ever got in my life. Chicken, come back, was the message. I will make a deal with you. Well, I'm no fool. Myrtle. No, you're no fool. Chicken. I said, all right, but I'm going to name the deal, and here's the deal. I said, if you want me to run this place for you, well, here's the deal. When you are through with TB, it goes to me. Myrtle. TB? Chicken. You ain't paying attention to what I tell you. Not TB. The place. This place. Myrtle. Oh, so that's the setup. Chicken. Yes, ma'am. That is the setup. Myrtle. Oh, I see. Chicken. You don't look happy about it. Myrtle. Don't I? Well, now, after all, you can't expect me to be overjoyed about it. I mean, after all, I'm human, and... Chicken. And what? Myrtle. Nothing, but... Chicken. But what? Myrtle. If Lot dies, I'm his widow, and... Chicken. That's just exactly the point that I'm coming to later. That's just the little situation we're trying to get straightened out right now in this kitchen before the floodwater comes. I got a decision to make. Myrtle. What decision? Chicken. A big one. A big one for you and me both. Have you ever climbed on a roof? Myrtle. Me? Climbed on a roof? No, not that I can remember. It don't seem likely. Why? Why do you ask me if I ever climbed on a roof? Chicken. If he can't climb on a roof, Lot won't have a widow, and when the floodwater comes. Now do you understand why I asked you that question? Yeah, I can see that you do. So now to go on with that, what's the matter? Why are you getting up? Myrtle has risen stiffly from the chair with a look of slow and dreadful comprehension. Her breathing is audible and rapid. Your breath is whistling again. You want that cat out of here? Myrtle. No. Chicken. I can put her back in the cellar if she's giving you asthma. Myrtle. No, I'm all right. I'm fine. I'm all right. Chicken. Then why don't you stay in your seat? Ain't that auto cushion comfortable to sit on? Myrtle. Sure, it's fine. She remains standing, her eyes wide and bright but not focused. He rises deliberately and picks up the auto cushion, examines it and dusts it and puts it back down again. Chicken. You women have got a lot of heat in you. That cushion is warm from your body. Why don't you sit down while I finish explaining the setup? Myrtle. Oh, it's all clear now. I understand the setup, and I want you to know, here's my right hand to God, that everything you told me is okay as far as I'm concerned. I got no designs on nothing. You know, it's funny how quickly the human mind changes. Ain't it queer how quick it changes? I had my heart set on a quiet, happy married life. Now what I want most in the world is to return to show business. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut out all fats and sweets and fried foods and get back in my shape and go straight back to show business. It keeps you alive. It keeps you trim. It keeps you alert. It's the business for me. Absolutely no other can compare with it for keeping you healthy and active. Now I think I can fill that hot water bottle and take it up to that poor child I married. God, please pity us both. She starts toward the stove, but he seizes her wrist. Chicken, I want you to stay sitting here till I finished talking to you. You gonna do that? Myrtle, why, sure. Chicken, good. Take a shot of this liquor. It might be good for your asthma. Myrtle, why, thanks. The tin cup shakes with both hands to her lips. Thanks. Chicken. So I said to my half-brother Lot, I want this place when you're gone. I've been on this place all my life, and I want to stay on this place all my life till I die. I was here before you come to it, and I want to be here when you go. Is that understood? Is that understood now, clearly? Myrtle. Yes, clearly. Chicken. Good. So the place goes to Chicken. The place and everything on it goes to Chicken when you die. Myrtle. Me? Die? Chicken. Lot. Myrtle. Oh. Chicken. Yes. Oh. We gotta get things straightened out. Myrtle. I told you, Chicken, has anyone ever told you you talk too much? If I had married a woman with such a loose mouth, I'd put a stopper in it. All right, I said. All right, that's the agreement, and I want it on paper. So let's put it on paper. Otherwise, I don't stay. He said, stay, we'll put it on paper. So we put it on paper. Had it drawn up, legal. Notary seal. Witnesses' names put on it. Signed in their presence. Now. Removes the wallet and unfolds from about it a thick rubber band. I got this paper to prove it. The paper we drawn up between us with a notary seal and names of witnesses on it. She stretches out her hand as he produces the paper from his wallet. Oh no, someone's got itchy fingers. Look, but don't touch. Understand? I never let this paper out of my hands. I sleep with this paper underneath my pillow, and when I wake up in the morning, you know what I find? I find my hand clutching my wallet with this paper in it. Even in my sleep, I protect this paper. I guard it with my life and my soul and my body, because it gives me this place when my half-brother is gone. So now you see. Myrtle. Yes, now I see. Chicken. You ain't even looking at it. Look at this paper, will ya? He shakes it in front of her. Does it look legal to you? You see this notary seal and names of witnesses on it? You see Lot's signature on it and my signature on it? Myrtle. Yes. Chicken. You want more light so you can see it more clearly? He turns up the lamp. There. Now. You can see it clearly. Myrtle. It sure looks legal. Chicken. Yeah, but you never can tell. Myrtle. What? Chicken. A smart Jew lawyer might find some loopholes in it or make some if some wasn't there, especially if there was a widow surviving. I guess you think that I'm hard. Well, I got to be hard. A man and his life both got to be equally hard. Made out of the same hard thing. Man. Rock. Life. Rock. Otherwise, one will break, and the one that breaks won't be life. The one that breaks is the soft one, and that's never life. If one is the soft one that breaks will be man, not life. No, not life. That's rock. Yep, rock. Solid rock. Now then, if you're satisfied that this is a legal paper, I'll put it away. Myrtle. Of course I can see it is legal. Chicken. But law is tricky. I never figured that Lot was going to get married. I certainly never thought he'd leave a widow. So I am faced with this important decision, whether or not to haul you up on the roof when the house is flooded. Because if I do, then Lot will have a widow, and this thing here might not be worth the paper it's typewritten on. You see what I mean about it? You see why I gotta think this whole thing out step by step as careful as possible, do you? No, I never thought he would leave a widow, you see? You see how easy it is to get buggered up? Law is a tricky thing. I never would have dreamed that a son of a bitch would marry and to leave a widow. And maybe now that changes the situation. Maybe now this agreement will not hold up in a court of law. Myrtle. I wouldn't worry about it. Chicken. No, you wouldn't worry about it. Why would you worry about it? You'd get the place, not Chicken. Myrtle. I don't want this place. What would I do with this place? Chicken. Want it or not, you'd get it if being his widow makes this paper. Myrtle. Rising stiffly. Look, Chicken. Chicken. Makes this paper not good. Myrtle. Chicken. Chicken, look here. Chicken. That's what he figured. Son of a bitch thought he'd screw me by leaving a widow. But one thing he didn't count on was the house being flooded and me and his widow both. Myrtle. Oh, now look here, Chicken. Chicken. Him and his widow both. Myrtle. Chicken. Chicken. Drowned in it. Unless I haul his widow up on the roof. Myrtle. Chicken, I can't catch my breath. I got a bad asthma attack, it's that. Chicken. Huh. Myrtle. Gasping. Allergy thing that... Chicken. You want the cat out of here? Myrtle. Not in the cellar, but... Chicken. Come on, pussy. You go sit in the parlor. He lifts the cat and crosses into the hall with her, shoves her into the parlor and kicks the door shut. Myrtle stands, gasping like a fish out of water, leaning for support against the table. Myrtle. Chicken, this joke has gone on too long. We... Chicken, take a good breath and talk. Myrtle. I'm trying to catch one. Lot and me, we ain't married. You and Lot ain't married? Myrtle. No, of course not. Are you kidding? She tries to laugh. You didn't believe that, did you? I'm surprised at you for being so gullible. Why, me and that boy are no more married than the man in the moon. Chicken. He showed me a license. Myrtle. Yeah, but you said yourself you can buy those things for 2 bits at a novelty store to get you a hotel room to lay a woman. Chicken. And the just married sign and the old shoes tied to the car? Myrtle. A joke. Can't you take a joke? Chicken. This is no joking matter. Myrtle. Well, it was a joke, Chicken. It was all just a joke. Her laugh is hollow. It expires in a gasp. Chicken. Yeah. Well, maybe. Myrtle. There's no maybe about it. I don't know I'm not married. Chicken. No. Myrtle. No. Look, when I take that step, a step as serious in my life as marriage would be, I wouldn't take it with a TB case. You want to know something? You want to know something, Chicken? Chicken. Yeah, I want to know something. Myrtle. That poor boy bleaches his hair. Not only has TB, but bleaches his hair. Look, now seriously, do you imagine that I'd give up a career in show business to marry a Chicken? What's wrong now? Myrtle with a grimace. Throats stopped. Chicken. Choked on lies. Myrtle. No. Chicken. That's what you done. You choked yourself on lies. Myrtle. Now, Chicken. Now, Chicken. Myrtle. Oh, don't mock me, please. Chicken. I think I better take a new look at that paper. Go up and get me that paper. Myrtle. Which paper? Chicken. This license you say you got from a novelty store. Myrtle. Lot's got it. He's got it. I don't have it. Lot's got it. Chicken. Jesus, I never seen anybody in such a condition as you seem to be in. Myrtle. I told you about how scared I am of... She turns away, gasping as if drowning. Water. gasps twice and clutches chair back. Ever since I was baptized by a preacher that held me under too long. Chicken. I'm not going to hold you under shit. It wouldn't be necessary to hold you under. If you can't climb on the roof when the house is flooded, and I don't reckon you can, it wouldn't be necessary to hold you under unless you float like a cork. Do you float like a cork? Myrtle. Oh, God, Chicken. Why don't you take my word? I'm not Lot's widow. I mean, I won't be his widow if he dies, because we ain't married. Chicken. Go up and get that paper. Myrtle. When? Chicken. Now. Myrtle. Wait till I catch my breath. Chicken. Get the paper now and catch your breath later. Myrtle. I can't climb those stairs without breath. And Lot's water's boiling. The kettle is boiling. I'll fill this hot water bottle. Chicken. All right. Fill his hot water bottle and get that paper and bring it down here so I can give it a careful examination. Myrtle. Help me. I can't do this. She drops the hot water bottle. Chicken picks it up and fills it by the stove. Chicken. Now go up and give him his hot water bottle and get that marriage license while you're up there. She starts upstairs. Chicken to her back. Hurry. Myrtle. I'm going fast as I can, unable to breathe. Chicken. You're breathing. She opens the bedroom door and calls softly. Myrtle. Lot? Lot. Baby. Are you asleep, Lot, baby? Light falls on him. He looks like a Far Eastern idol. He doesn't answer except by rocking his wicker chair in the pool of moonlight. How are you now, Lot, baby? Lot. You know how I am. Still breathing. Have you got Chicken drunk yet? Myrtle. I don't think he's going to get drunk. Liquor don't seem to affect him. Lot. Then he won't get the paper and he'll get the place. Myrtle. Well? Lot. You sound resigned to it, Myrtle. Myrtle. If this house is flooded both floors, could you get me up on the roof? Lot. Chicken has offered to get you on the roof. Get you up on the roof. Myrtle. You brought me here and put me at his mercy. Don't forget that. Lot. I thought you could handle Chicken. Myrtle. You gave me no warning. Chicken impatiently below stairs. Hey, come on. Lot. What's he want? Just your company down there? Myrtle. I got your hot water bottle. Here's your hot water bottle. Lot. My chill's gone now. I'm burning up with fever. What I need's an ice pack. Myrtle. Honey, you know there ain't no ice in this house. Lot. What were you doing down there with Chicken? Myrtle. I was waiting for the kettle to boil so I could fill up this hot water bottle, which you don't want no more. Lot. You know something? Myrtle. Huh. Lot. I think you're a whore. Myrtle, sadly. Almost gently. What? Baby, that is the most cruel thing that anybody has ever said to me in my entire life. Here is my right hand to God. After all that I have suffered to stay on this straight and narrow, to be called a whore by my just married husband. Lot. I said it looks like I married a prostitute and brought her home for Chicken. Myrtle. I know. I know what you said. You don't have to repeat it. The strange thing about this is, I haven't blamed you. You are blaming me. Dialogue overlaps. Lot. I married a whore, and Myrtle. I'm standing here, full of TB germs because you, Lot, brought her back here to Chicken. Myrtle. Lied to me, and have bleached hair and Lot, goddamn whore, and brought her back here to Chicken for him to lay while I die up here in this rocker, you common trash. Myrtle. God, how mean people are. I'm going downstairs after that. Lot. Sure. And it makes how many times you gone down to them? To Chicken? Myrtle. This time is the last time. I'm not going to come back up. Not till you call me up and apologize to me. And maybe not even then. No, not even then, maybe. Starts out. Turns back and roots in his coat pocket. Coat hangs on hook on the wall. Lot. What are you doing? What did you take from my coat? Myrtle. Our marriage license. Your half-brother wants to look at it to see if it's real. She starts out again. Lot begins to laugh softly as she closes the door. She pushes it open again and says, "What are you laughing at?" Lot, "At life. I think it's funny." Myrtle, "I think it's like a bad dream." Lot, "A bad dream can be funny." Myrtle, "I guess it can." At that, closes door rather softly. Chicken waits in the hall. She descends. Scene 6. Myrtle enters the kitchen. Myrtle, "Here it is. This is it." Hands him the license. "You can see it's no good." Chicken, "It's got signatures on it." Myrtle, "Sure they got signatures on them to make them look real, but..." Chicken, "This looks like a genuine license to me." Myrtle, "I give you my right hand to God. That thing is fake." Chicken, "Don't give me your right hand to God. I don't want it, and he don't want it neither. Nobody wants your right or left hand to nothing. However, I'll keep this thing. I'll put it with my legal agreement with Lot." He folds the license into his wallet and studies her somberly. "Are you able to write?" Myrtle, "Why, yes." Chicken, "I don't mean just your name." Myrtle, "No. Yes, I mean, yes. I've been through 4 grades of school." Chicken, "Take a seat at this table. I'm going to give you a little test in writing." He tears a sheet from a writing tablet and sets it before her with a pen and an ink bottle. "You say you are able to write, and I am able to read. You see this pen and paper I set before you?" Myrtle, "Yes, perfectly, plainly." Chicken, "Do you write standing up?" Myrtle, "Yes. No, I mean, no." She scrambles into the chair. Chicken, "Now take this pen and write out on this paper what I tell you to write." Myrtle, "What do you..." Chicken, "Shut up. I'm going to dictate to you a letter that you will write and sign, and this letter will be to me." Myrtle, "Why should I write you a letter when you're right here?" Chicken, "You'll understand why when you write it, and write it out plain enough so anybody can read it." Myrtle, "My hand is..." Chicken, "What?" Myrtle, "Shaken." Chicken, "Control it." Myrtle, "It's hard to control it with my nerves so unstrung." Chicken, "Which hand do you write with the left or the right?" Chicken, "Oh, with the right. I'm right-handed." Chicken, "Well, give me that shaky right hand." Myrtle, what do you want with my hand?" Chicken, "Stop it shaking." He takes hold of her hand in both of his. Myrtle, "What big hands you got, Chicken?" Chicken, "Feel the calluses on 'em? I got those calluses on my hands from a life of hard work on this fucking place. Worked on it and got nothing for it but bed and board, and the place was a cot in the kitchen, and the board was no better than slops in the trough of a sow. However, things do change. They do gradually change. You just got to wait and be patient till the time comes to strike, and then strike hard." He is rubbing her hand between his. "Now it's coming. That time. This place is going to be mine when the house is flooded, and I won't be happy sitting on the roof of it till the flood goes down." Myrtle, "No, me neither. I'll be pleased and relieved." Chicken, "You mean if you are still in the land of the living?" Myrtle, "Don't make my hand shake again." Chicken, "I guess you think that I'm hard." Myrtle, "I don't think a man should be soft." Chicken, "You know what life is made out of?" Myrtle, "Evil. I think it's evil." Chicken, "I think that life just plain don't care for the weak or the soft. A man and his life, like I said, a man and his life both got to be made out of the same stuff, or one or the other will break, and the one that breaks won't be life. Now then, your hand ain't shaking." Myrtle, "No, my hand stopped shaking because..." Chicken, "What?" Myrtle, "I know in my heart that you don't hate Myrtle." Chicken, "I hate nobody and I love nobody. Now pick up that pen, hold it steady, and write down what I tell you." She picks up the pen, grips it. "Dip it in the ink. It don't write dry." She wets the pen. "Ready?" Myrtle, "Ready. My hand is steady." Chicken, "I gotta be careful how I word this thing. It's too important for me to bugger it up." Myrtle, Let's make 2 copies of it, one for practice and the other final. Chicken. Won't be necessary. I got it now. Now write down what I tell you in big letters or print. Me, Mrs. Lot Ravenstock. If I had a claim on this place called Raven Roost, or anything on this place, give up and deny all claims when my husband is dead. Because this place goes to Chicken. I known about this setup before my TV marriage in the paper which Chicken holds with notary seal. 2 names of witnesses on it still holds good. I declare this. The place and all on it will be Chicken's. All Chicken's when Lot Ravenstock dies, and also if I die too because of river and flood, a natural act of God. Myrtle, who has been scribbling frantically, all Chickens when Lot dies. Chicken. Now put in the punctuation and dot all the I's and cross all the T's and sign your name plain at the bottom. Myrtle. Yes, I did. I already did that, Chicken. Chicken, give it here. He takes the paper from her. Huh. I bet they never give you no spelling or handwriting prize when you went to school. But anyhow, it's possible to read it if the question comes up in case of you being alive when the flood goes down. There's still one question, though. Where's the witnesses and the notary seal so this would hold up in court? Myrtle. Oh, we could get them later. Chicken. You wrote this thing because you're scared of drowning. How do I know you wouldn't back out of it when the flood's over with? Myrtle. I swear I wouldn't. Chicken. Well, anyhow, it's something, and something's better than nothing. It's worth putting in my wallet with Lot's witnessed letter and the true or false license. Myrtle. Chicken, trust my word. I've given you my word and never gone back on my word in all my life. Chicken. I'm not counting on your word, but something else about you. Myrtle. What else about me? Chicken. You're weak. Myrtle. I've always been weak compared to a man. I think that's natural, don't you? They have been sitting in chairs on opposite sides of the small square table. Chairs angled toward the audience. Now Chicken rises and moves close to her. Chicken. Look me straight in the eyes and answer a question. Myrtle. What? Question? Chicken. Can you kiss? And like kissing a man that's been accused of having some black blood in him? Myrtle. No. Yes. It would make no difference to me. Chicken. Let's try it out. Put your arms about me and give me a kiss on the mouth. Mouth open. She complies nervously, gingerly, to this request. During the kiss, he puts a hand on her hips. Chicken, releasing her. Well, how did it feel? Disgusting? Myrtle. No, not a bit. I was pleased and relieved that you wanted to kiss me, Chicken. Chicken. That kiss was just the beginning. You know that? Does that please and relieve you? Myrtle. I'm a warm-natured woman. You might say passionate, even. A Memphis doctor prescribed me a bottle of pills to keep down the heat of my nature. But those pills are worthless. Have no effect. I'm through with them. Don't you know I would never back down on that letter you dictated to me? Not if I could, never would. Chicken. No, I reckon you wouldn't. Chicken hoists himself onto the kitchen table directly in front of her, legs spread wide. Myrtle. Wouldn't she be more comfortable in a chair? Chicken. I wouldn't be as close to you. I'm right in front of you now. Myrtle. That's a high table. I have to strain my neck to look in your face. Chicken, with a slow, savage grin. You don't have to look in my face. My face ain't all they is to me. She begins suddenly to cry like a child. What are you crying for? Something you want and can't have? He snatches up the lamp and blows it out. The kitchen is blacked out. An opaque scrim falls over its open wall. The light brightness in the bedroom where Lot sits in the wicker rocker. The moonlight on him brightens, fades, and brightens again. Lot. Lamp's gone out in the kitchen and I don't hear a sound. What I've done is deliver a woman to Chicken. Brought home a whore for Chicken that he don't have to pay. A present from the dying. The scene dims out. Scene 7. The light comes up as Chicken lights the lamp on the table. He is still perched on the table and Myrtle is still on a chair, so close to the table that she's between his boots, and she looks as if she had undergone an experience of exceptional nature and magnitude. Chicken. Let there be light. That's what they say that God said on the first day of creation. Slight pause as he fastens the clasp of his belt. Myrtle. Chicken, I want you to know that... Chicken, what do you want me to know that I don't know? Myrtle. That's the first time I've gone that far with a man, no matter how strongly attracted. Chicken. You mean on the first date? Myrtle. I mean practically never. Chicken. Maybe when instinct is powerful enough, then practice is not necessary. But in my opinion, them little white tablets you take to keep your nature down, you ought to send them back to the Memphis doctor and demand a refund on whatever they cost you. Myrtle. It's possible that the tablets are meant for ordinary attraction, but not for terrific attraction. Chicken. Like a levee holds back a river up to a point where the pressure is too strong for it? Myrtle. Yes, like that. Exactly. She rises from her chair and makes a weak-kneed effort to climb on the table. Chicken. What are you doing? Myrtle. Trying to climb up beside you and lean on your shoulder. Chicken. No. Stay in your chair a while longer. I don't like to touch or be touched by a woman right after having such close relations with her. Myrtle, returning to her chair humbly. Are you disgusted with her? Chicken. Just not interested in her. Myrtle. How long does that feeling last? Chicken. Sometimes 5 or 10 minutes. Myrtle. Minutes can seem like hours when the attraction's terrific. Chicken. I wonder something about you. Myrtle. Nervously. What do you wonder? Chicken. If the attraction would still be terrific if I was to tell you that talk and suspicion about me are based on fact. Myrtle. What, talk and suspicion? Chicken. That I got colored blood in me? Note. Myrtle has the typical Southern lower-class dread and awe of Negroes. Myrtle. Oh, I know there's no truth in that. Chicken, grinning at her savagely. How do you know they isn't? Myrtle. Lot would have told me. Chicken. I come near to killing him once for saying I had colored blood, and Lot hasn't forgotten. He's not so dumb he don't know that if he told you, I'd know. Myrtle. Then why would you tell me that you... Chicken. I thought you ought to know after having such relations. Shaken and awed by the disclosure, she rises from her chair and pulls it back from the table. Chicken. Why'd you do that, Mrs. Lot Ravenstock? Myrtle. Why'd I do what I did? What did I do? Chicken. You moved your chair back from the table like a monster was on it. Myrtle. You were swinging your boots with mud on them and staining my blouse, and... Chicken. Your blouse was already stained. Has to be washed in flood water. Myrtle. Chicken. For God's sake, don't mention a possible flood to a girl scared as I am of water. Chicken. Move your chair back where it was. Myrtle. I don't know where it was. Chicken. Then what do you know? Nothing? Myrtle moves her chair back to approximately its former position. Myrtle. Was it here? Chicken. About. Now, listen to me. My mother had colored blood in her. She wasn't black, but she wasn't white neither. And that's why I'm dark-complected with freckled eyes and live the life of a dog that nobody owns and owns nothing. Ask any dog on the road or a street, or any dog, any road, any street, if that ain't the fucking truth, which has made me suspicioned around here. So, are you crying again, Myrtle? With nervous sympathy for you? Chicken, keep it. Shove it. Forget it. I don't want it. When you want sympathy, then is when you're in trouble. Up to your ass, up to your tits, up to your eyebrows, and I'd ask any dog in the street, including yourself. Myrtle, please don't talk that way to me. She moves her chair back a little, still sniffling. Chicken, broodingly. One night last winter, for instance, I come up to this girl at the Dixie Star, a night place on the highway. This girl I come up to politely was known as Desperate Dottie because she put out for men right and left and up the center and down it. Myrtle, no self-respect? Chicken, no self-respect, no white tablets from the quack in Memphis. But I was so horny that night my balls were aching. So I come up to this girl when the man she was with fell out of their booth into the floor and laid there belching and snoring. I spoke to this girl politely. Hello, how are you, Miss Bowes? Terrible weather, and so forth. Then lowered my voice and leaned on the table toward her and said, Miss Bowes, this man you're with here tonight can't do you no good. Any dog on the road can tell you that. So why not step over his legs and sit in a clean booth with me? I got almost a full pint of 4 Roses on me. What did I get for this polite invitation? Myrtle, still sniffling. I don't. I should. Chicken, I'll tell you what I got. She gave me a quick, mean look and said, Stay in your place. That's it. That's how it is with me and women around here. Talk, suspicion, insult. And when Miss Lot's mother, dismissed me off this place, she said to me, Chicken, I don't want my son to be known as half a brother to a black man. Wonderful, huh? Yeah, great. I'll tell you what her son does to amuse himself here. He gets in his dead mother's clothes. Panties, brassiere, slippers, dress, and a wig he made out of corn silk. Ask any dog on the street. Myrtle, oh, I wouldn't ask any dog a thing like that. Chicken comes downstairs looking just like her and sits in her parlor talking to himself in the same voice as hers, okay? Well, I'm back here now, alone, suspicioned, despised. Myrtle, Chicken, oh, if I walk in town, I can go to the movies and sit in the white section and watch a female actress messing around in a wrapper that you can almost see through. Shit, I've seen kids play with themselves at the Delta Brilliant, and I don't blame them. The movie industry is run by the old men with hot pants. You can ask any dog in the street if that's not true. Pool hall? I can go to the pool hall, but nobody's anxious to get me in a game with them. Can go to the highway night place and sit by myself, left out of the conversation, talked about in whispers. So what I do, practically everything I do by myself. You can ask any dog that. Myrtle, you should. I would. Pay no attention. Rise above talk and suspicion. You know it ain't true. You know it ain't true. Chicken, I just now told you it was. Oh, but nah. You don't want to believe it after the close relation we had between us. Nah. Your folks in Mobile was so ignorant and low class they filtered your mind with the idea that you'd be ruined, like poisoned, by having a close relation to someone with colored blood. So? Yeah, so. I know. Myrtle, I was just simply, I was surprised for a minute, which is over with now. Chicken, you're still holding onto the arms of that chair with your head leaned back like you was about to be electrocuted. Myrtle, I've been through a good deal today, more than some girls go through in their whole lifetimes. Chicken, like the 4 hot shots for Mobile? He gets off the table and moves to the back door, which is the only solid enclosure of the set. The rest is created by lightning. Myrtle, rising fearfully. Where are you going? Chicken. The river's louder. I'm going to look at the levee. Myrtle. What good does it do to look at it? Chicken. I can tell if the levee will hold the crest or not. Myrtle. Don't. He goes off. Leave me alone here. The bedroom upstairs is lighted by the moon. Lot is struggling out of the wicker rocker, knocking it over. He staggers to a closet and, with his back to the audience, throws off the silk wrapper. He steps quickly into a gauzy white dress and sets a blonde wig on his head. He turns around again, gasps, staggers to the foot of the brass bed and clings to its bars. Then he slides down them to a kneeling position. Lot. Will. Make it, Miss Lottie, and order them both off the place. The moon is obscured again, and the bedroom returns to dark, a scrim descending over its front. During this, Myrtle has stood at the open kitchen door. Now Chicken returns, hip boots covered with wet mud as when we first saw him. Myrtle. I thought you'd never get back here. Chicken. You thought wrong, missy. He sits on the table again. Myrtle. Those 5 or 10 minutes are over with now, ain't they? Chicken. Can't you see the clock? Myrtle. A clock is mechanical, but a man is human. Chicken. Sometimes you say a true thing. Myrtle. I pride myself on that. And another thing I pride myself on is noticing and appreciating a man's parents. Much more than most girls, I look at a man with appreciation. Physical. I notice such things about him as a strong figure in fine proportion. Mouth, full. Teeth, white, glistening. Why, you look like a man that could hold back the flood of a river. Chicken. No man can hold back a flood, but some can live through one. Myrtle. With a woman? Chicken. Uh-huh. Even with a woman. How'd you like to stay on here after Lot's gone? Myrtle. Let's not put it like that. Chicken. What other way would you put it? Myrtle. No, I don't know what other way I could put it. I know that every girl in the world has a dream in her heart that's sweeter and more precious to her than any other. Chicken. What's that dream in her heart? Myrtle. That dream is settling down somewhere sometime with a man to whom she's very strongly attracted. Chicken. Think it over and I'll think it over too. You're not a match for the picture tacked on the wall, but... Myrtle. No, but I know. Chicken. Yes, I'd say you know, and if it's necessary to climb on the roof tonight, I'll get you up the ladder in the hall upstairs with the blanket, in case we need more than each other to keep us warm. Myrtle. What'd we eat up there if we had to stay up there long? Chicken. The chickens will fly up there. And if a helicopter don't come over to pick us up, we'll drink some warm chicken blood to keep us going. Myrtle. Oh, I couldn't do that. Chicken. What people have to do, they always do. So everything's understood now? Myrtle. I think we've come to a perfect understanding. Chicken. Good. Let's have a drink on it. He pours liquor into 2 tin cups. Have you ever been what they call saved? Myrtle. Why, yes, I have. I've been saved by you. Chicken. What I was speaking of is religious salvation. He removes her importunate hand from his shoulder and resumes his seat on the table. The lamplight concentrates on him hotly during the monologue, the expression of his credo that follows. Myrtle is a shadowy presence. Myrtle. Oh, religious salvation. Chicken. That's right. Myrtle. Well, I'm not a steady churchgoer. I wake up so tired on Sundays, you see, but when I'm perplexed or worried over something, I always appeal to my Savior, and, knock on wood, he has never let me down. The bright light is now fixed on Chicken. Chicken. I reckon you'd never guess from me, the way I am now, that I was what they call saved by this preacher Gypsy Smith when he come through here last spring. But I sure in hell was. I was what they call saved, but it didn't last much longer than a cold in the head. And talking about salvation, I think there's a good deal of truth in that, in the statement. The saying that you're either saved or you ain't. And the best thing to do is find out which and stick to it. Because with human beings, and I'm a human being and you are too, what counts most is Myrtle perches herself beside him on the table and leans against him. With human beings, the ones I've known in my life, what counts most is personal satisfaction. And God knows you'll never get that by denying yourself what you want most in the world, by straining and struggling for what they call salvation, when it's something you're just not cut out for. That preacher, that salvation preacher last spring, he claimed that we had to put up a terrible struggle against our lustful body. And I did for a while. You know, these preachers all think we got lustful bodies, and that's one thing I know they're right about. Huh? Myrtle. Oh, yes, they're right about that. They're not mistaken. Chicken. And they also believe that we have spiritual gates. And they preach about how you should haul down those spiritual gates on your lustful body. Well, those are two opposite things, and one of them's got to be stronger if they're in the same body. One's got to win, and one lose. Well, I tried to haul down my spiritual gates for a while, but I seemed to be reaching up for something that wasn't in me. You can't haul down your spiritual gates if you don't have any in you. I think that's the case in my case. I was just created without them. And either you're saved or you ain't. And you can be or never will be. And I think you're a hell of a lot better off putting off all hope of salvation out of your mind completely than to put up a long, painful struggle that's bound to be useless. Sooner or later, you're going to backslide. And that's that. What do you think? Myrtle. In my case, I never had that experience, being saved. Not even for a short while. But I do say prayers anyhow to God and to human beings. Chicken. What do you pray for? Myrtle. I pray for protection. And right now I feel like that prayer is going to be answered. Go on talking in that deep voice of yours. I don't just hear it. It gives me a sensation in my ears and goes all through my body. It vibrates in me. I don't even hear the river. Chicken with a tolerant contempt. What you're saying is you're anxious to please me in order to get on the roof when the house is flooded. Myrtle, very nervously. Oh no, that's already been settled. Chicken. Things can be settled one way and then unsettled another. Myrtle. You wouldn't back out on it now after giving your word. You couldn't. You're too good of a man. God love you, Chicken. Chicken. This house ain't built out of rock or brick or cement. This is an old wood house. Oh, I'll get you up on the roof when the levee collapses. But that's no guarantee that the crest of a flood of a river as big as this might not uproot this house like a weed and wash and toss it down and all around till not a board or shingle stuck together. Myrtle. Don't scare me out of my life. Chicken. Sloshing liquor from the jug into their tin cups. I'll tell you how I look at my life in my life, or in any man's life. There's nothing in the world, in this whole kingdom of earth, that can compare with one thing. And that one thing is what's able to happen between a man and a woman. Just that thing. Nothing more is perfect. The rest is crap. All of the rest is almost nothing but crap. Just that one thing's good. And if you never had nothing else but that, no property, no success in the world, but still had that, why, then I say this life would still be worth something, and you better believe it. Yes, you could come home to a house like a shack, in blazing heat and look for water and find not a drop to drink, and to look for food and find not a single crumb of it. But if on the bed you seen a woman waiting, maybe not very young or good looking even, and she looked up at you and said to you, Daddy, I want it. Why, then I say you got a square deal out of life, and whoever don't think so has just not had the right woman. That's how I look at it. That's how I see it now in this kingdom of earth. Lot appears like an apparition in the pool of cool light at the stair top. He has put on the gauzy white dress to conjure an image of his mother in summer. As he stands above the stairs, he puts on a translucent wide picture hat. The crown is trimmed with faded flowers. The effect is both bizarre and beautiful. There is a phrase of music like a muted trumpet playing a blues song. Then Lot starts his descent of the stairs. With each step, his gasping for breath is louder, but his agony is transfigured by the sexless passion of the transvestite. He has a fixed smile which is almost ecstatic. Chicken leaps off the kitchen table and goes to the kitchen door. He seems impressed but not surprised. Myrtle is terrified. Myrtle. Chicken. Oh God, stop him. Chicken. What for? Myrtle. Take him back up. Chicken. No. Let him be in Miss Lottie's parlor. At the foot of the stairs, Lot turns blindly towards the parlor. His gasping breath is now like a death rattle. Even in death, he has the ecstasy of a transvestite. As he staggers into the bizarre little parlor, the room is lighted with a delicate rose light. There he stands, swaying for a few moments, then sinks into one of the little gold chairs facing the window. Myrtle is panicky, but not chicken. Lot, in his transfiguration, stares blindly. He is even smiling, as if on a social occasion. He holds onto his garden hat, holding it by the crown, as if a wind might blow it away. He is swaying back and forth. Chicken's attitude is impassive. Chicken's attitude is impassive. You're dressed for summer tonight. Lot is past hearing any remark. He rises from the chair, sways, seems to bow to an applauding audience, then crumples to the floor. Chicken doesn't enter the parlor until Lot's death agony is finished. Only then does he enter and sits gingerly on one of the gilt chairs for a moment. Then, almost tenderly, he moves the lifeless body to the sofa. Myrtle, in a state of mental shock, has retreated to the kitchen and opened the icebox as if it were a place of refuge. Myrtle. Eggs, bacon, slab of it, new potatoes. She removes these reassuring items from the iceless box. An egg or two splatters on the floor. She makes a few more rapid, irresolute turns. Pan, knife. She heads for the wall where these utensils are hanging and discovers her arms full. Then she rushes back to deposit the foodstuff on the table. Entirely unnoticed by her, an egg or two more splatters on the floor. Then she rushes back to remove the utensils from their hooks. In no condition to, got to. She then instructs herself as if she were a pupil in a very primary cooking class. Slice bacon in pan with knife. Stove, burning. Her words are interspersed with slight breathless sobs. Chicken has stood over the summer gauze apparition of his half-brother without a word or gesture. Now he turns out the chandelier and moves with dark satisfaction down the short hall to the kitchen area. He looks about him appraisingly, a man who has come into possessions fiercely desired. Myrtle's back is to him, and when he speaks, she catches her breath loudly. Chicken. Making supper? Myrtle. What I'm doing, I don't know what I'm doing. Chicken. You're doing a sensible thing, since it might be several days before we have a hot meal again. Myrtle, turning to face him. Chicken. As Christian people. Chicken. What about Christian people? Something or nothing. Myrtle. We gotta call in a doctor. Chicken. If there was a doctor that hadn't hauled his ass out of Two River County, there's nothing he could do here but clean up a mess of eggs you dropped on the floor. Myrtle. Lot is... Chicken. Isn't. Myrtle. God have mercy on my... Chicken. What? Myrtle. The potatoes will be home fried. Chicken. That's right. Fried in my home. You couldn't peel them. Myrtle. Cut my finger. Chicken. A nervous woman has a rough time in this world. He stares at her broodingly for a couple of moments as she sucks her cut finger. I don't reckon that... No, I reckon you couldn't. Myrtle. Couldn't what? Chicken. Produce me a son. Produce a child for me, could you? I've always wanted a child from an all-white woman. Myrtle. I want to be perfectly frank with you on that subject. Chicken. I could tell if you lied on that subject or any other. He holds the lamp toward her, still panicky face. Myrtle. I got 5 adopted children. Chicken. You adopted 5 children? Myrtle. No. What I mean is, Chicken, I had 5 children that had to be adopted because I wasn't financially able to give these children the care and attention and care an infant child's got to have. And so I had to have them adopted, all by families with yearly incomes no less than $2,000. Well, it broke my heart 5 times. All 5 was red-headed like me and cute as a bug. Chicken. I don't want a child that looks like a bug. Myrtle. Oh, that's just an expression. He replaces the lamp on the table. No, sir. The deepest chord in my nature is the... Don't that river sound louder? Or am I just more scared to death of it? Chicken. The flood crest is close to here now. He stares outside. Myrtle, wildly. Don't leave me alone in here. Chicken. I'm going out the door for a minute. Sit down. Peel the home-fried potatoes. I want to look at my land. He goes out and moves forward. His face exultant. Sing it out, frogs and crickets. Chicken is king. Myrtle has come out behind him. There is a great booming sound. Up. Quick. He says this as the curtain is descending. End. Small craft warnings. To Bill Barnes. You said to go on, and I went. Too personal? Footnote. This was meant to be submitted to the New York Times as a pre-opening piece, but they chose to interview me instead. TW. The greatest danger professionally of becoming the subject of so many write-ups and personal appearances on TV and lecture platforms is that the materials of your life, which are, in the case of all organic writing, the materials of your work, are sort of telegraphed in to those who see you and to those who read about you. So, when you get to the serious organization of this material into your work, people, meaning audiences and critics, all but the few most tolerant whom you naturally regard as the best, have a sort of déjà vu or déjà entendu reaction to these materials, which you have submitted to the cathartic process of your sullen craft and art. You may justifiably wonder why a man of my years in his profession, recognizing this hazard, has yet been willing to expose himself with a frequency which seems almost symptomatic of clinical exhibitionism to all these interviews and the fewer, but equally personal exposures on platform and the tube. I can offer you at least 2 reasons for this phenomenon. One is probably something with which you will immediately empathize. When one has passed through an extensive period of that excess of privacy, which is imposed upon a person drifting almost willfully out of contact with the world, anticipating that final seclusion of the non being, there comes upon him, when that period wears itself out and he is still alive, an almost insatiable hunger for recognition of the fact that he is indeed still alive, both as man and artist. That's reason number one. The other is rather comical, I'm afraid. You get a devastatingly bad write up and you feel that you are washed up for good. Then some magazine editor gets through to you on that phone in the studio of your tropical retreat, the phone that you never pick up till it's rung so persistently that you assume that your secretary and house guests have been immobilized by nerve gas or something of that nature. And this editor speaks to you as sympathetically as the family doctor to a child stricken with a perforated appendix, and tells you that he is as shocked as you were by the tasteless expose type of interview which had appeared about you in a recent issue of some other mag. And then, of course, you forget about work, and you rage yourself into a slather over the iniquities and duplicities of the interviewer referred to. You say, "Why, that creature was so drunk he didn't know what street I lived on. And the guy that set me up for my martini was sodium pentothal. And all I remember about this occasion is that my head came off my shoulders and hit the ceiling, and I heard myself babbling away like an hysteric. And I hadn't the slightest notion that he had a concealed tape recorder with him. And later he offered to play bridge with me that night, and he came over again with a tape recorder in some orifice of his body, I presume. And I do not see well, and I like to hold forth to apparently amiable listeners. And I just assume that when they say, 'I am only interested in your work,' that's what they mean. Now the editor has you on the hook. That's exactly my reaction to the revolting piece, and how about letting us do a piece to correct it? You grasp at this offer like a drowning rat climbs onto anything that will float it. So you get another write-up. Then after this write-up, which is usually more colorful and better written than the one before, but equally non-serious, if not downright clownish, you feel that it is a life or death matter. Professionally, with a new play opening somewhere to correct the hilarious misquotes and exaggerations which embellish the second write-up. And so you go on to others and others. Now, at last you have poured out compulsively and perhaps fatally all the recent content of your experience, which should have been held in reserve for its proper place, which is in the work you are doing every morning, which in my case is the writing I do every morning. Is it or is it not right or wrong for a playwright to put his persona into his work? My answer is, what else can he do? I mean, the very root necessity of all creative work is to express those things most involved in his experience. Otherwise, is the work, however well executed, not a manufactured and a synthetic thing? I've said, perhaps repeatedly, that I have two major classifications for writing: that which is organic and that which is not. And this opinion still holds. Now, let me attempt to entertain you once more with an anecdote. Long ago, in the early 40s, I attended a very posh party given by the Theatre Guild. I was comfortably and happily seated at a small table with my dear friend Miss Jo Healy, who was receptionist at the Guild in those days, when a lady with eyes that blazed with some nameless frenzy rushed up to me like a guided missile and seized me by the arm and shrieked to me, "You've got to meet Miss Ferber, she's dying to meet you." Now, in those days, I was at least pliable, and so I permitted myself to be hauled over to a large table at which were seated a number of diamond-teed trucks disguised as ladies. "Oh, Miss Ferber," shrieked my unknown pilot, "this is Tennessee Williams." Miss Ferber gazed slowly up and delivered this annihilating one-liner. "The best I can manage is a mild yippee." "Madam," I said, "I can't even manage that." Now everyone knows, who is cognizant of the world of letters, that Miss Edna Ferber was a creature of mammoth productivity and success. She was good at doing her thing. Her novel and picture sales are fairly astronomical, I would guess. I bring her up because she represents to me the classic, the archetypal example of a writer whose work is impersonal, at least upon any recognizable level. I cannot see her in the oil fields of Texas with Rock Hudson and the late James Dean, nor can I see her in any of her other impressive epics. I see her only as a lady who chose to put down a writer who was then young and vulnerable with such a gratuitously malicious one-liner. I mean, without provocation, since I had literally been dragged to the steps of her throne. So far, I have spoken only in defense of the personal kind of writing. Now, I assure you that I know it can be overdone. It is the responsibility of the writer to put his experience as a being into work that refines it and elevates it, and that makes of it an essence that a wild audience can somehow manage to feel in themselves. This is true. In all human experience, there are parallels which permit common understanding in the telling and hearing, and it is the frightening responsibility of an artist to make what is directly or elusively close to his own being communicable and understandable, however disturbingly, to the hearts and minds of all whom he addresses. T.W., March 26, 1972.